up in the box, baseball fans? Welcome back to another episode of Batter Up with Brett and John on Friday night. We're back-to-back Jacks. What's up, John?
Oh, not much. It's All-Star Weekend here in Indianapolis. I'm wearing a Kings sweatshirt, but we have 0 Kings playing in the game, and that is why I have De'Aaron Fox is an All-Star as my name tonight. I don't know if you caught that backstage, but I'm going to beat that drum until that dude is on an all-NBA team. Even though the Kings are the Kings, still pretty special to have the All-Star game here. I wish I was going, but sadly, I don't know that I am. And, we're not going to talk about NBA tonight. We're going to talk a lot about Series 1. Kick it over to you. You get the first word.
I don't think the Bulls have anybody on the All-Star game either. I don't think so.
No. Okay, we can spend a little bit of time right up front. I know we'll probably lose some viewers, but that's fine. The NBA needs to change the rules and the way they formulate these all-star teams. They say they prioritize winning because they put 2 players from the Clippers, 2 players from the Timberwolves, 2 players from the Phoenix Suns in the all-star game. But then they put 0 guys from other teams in the all-star game, which makes absolutely no sense. And you put 2 Lakers in the all-star game. You put Steph Curry in the All-Star game. Steph Curry's an All-Star. Steph Curry will be an All-Star forever. No matter if he's having a bad season or not, he's going to be an All-Star forever. So teams like the Bulls, being on the bottom of the Eastern Conference, they're not going to get anybody according to these new rules. You're not going to get DeMar DeRozan in there. Zach LaVine's hurt. You're not going to get Vucevic. You're not going to get Kobe White, even though he's having a fantastic season. Remember him a couple years ago. People were going nuts for his cards, probably going nuts again. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. They only let 12 players in, and then they have injury replacements. I absolutely hate the format. Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox got screwed to the high heaven for not being all-stars. I can't believe. How many straight games has Domantas Sabonis had a double-double?
I have no idea. 25.
Higher.
Holy crap.
It's almost 40 straight games.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Who leads the league in triple doubles? This is actually a dumb question because you should really get it right away. Who leads the league in triple doubles?
I don't know.
Domantas Sabonis. He plays for the Kings.
No
He's
all-star.
Not an all-star.
That's nuts.
Make that make sense. Make that make sense. It makes no sense. They totally screwed the guys.
That doesn't make sense.
Who's second in the league? Who's second in the league in steals?
I don't know. Fox
De'Aaron
probably.
Fox.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
They gotta find a way. The NBA's got to find a way to get guys like me back. I love sports. I watch a lot of sports. As a kid growing up, I'm telling you, like when I was in 6th, 7th, 8th grade high school, All-Star weekend, I would go down to my mom and dad's basement. I would turn on the TV. I'd watch the 3-point contest, the dunk contest, the All-Star game. I literally, when that was on, I was in front of the TV for that. And I didn't watch much TV as a kid, but I love that time.
I wish I was going tomorrow night. It's at Lucas Oil Stadium. I work right next to it. I really wish I was going. I don't think I'm going to buy a ticket. It's too expensive. And
you should wait last minute and see if StubHub has something cheap.
I know that's what my coworker said. He's like, maybe just wait last minute and see if you can snag a ticket for cheap. So we'll see.
It'd be fun. You're close.
I'm close. It's 30 minutes away. So yeah. Anyway,
let's
talk about baseball.
Let's stick on basketball for just a minute.
Okay, you're trying to steer me towards the basketball talk. All right, I see how this is going.
I know that the crew is more of a baseball crew, but we're sports people. We like all sports.
I know where you're going with this.
But how about Caitlin Clark breaking the all-time scoring record? What an amazing feat. What an amazing talent. And what are your thoughts?
It's very seldom you're going to talk about, I would say a WNBA player, but heck, Caitlin Clark is still in college at Iowa. It's pretty special what she's doing, what she's getting credit for. I hope that carries over to the WNBA for her. I know the WNBA, somebody mentioned, woke and politics and everything. Trust me, I don't like that part of it. But excellence is excellence. And I think what she's doing and what players like that inspire other young, females in sports in high school to strive for excellence. And you can be a name. And the NIL deals that could go along with that. I mean, it could be very interesting to see how that plays out. But I'm very curious what happens once she ends up in the WNBA.
In the day of TV and satellite and all these pay-per-view stuff, getting Peacock to watch my Illinois because I didn't watch Game of the Night because I don't have Peacock, one of the few channels I don't have. But there were watch parties for Caitlin Clark. There are little girls who are going to play basketball because of Caitlin Clark. There are, I don't like the Swift stuff, but there were people who watched the Super Bowl. It was the most viewed Super Bowl of all times because Taylor Swift got people, and that's good for sports. That's good for sports cards. You know what I mean?
My wife was glued to the TV until the very last snap. And even then, she wouldn't let me turn it off because she was so sure she would see a Kelsey Swift kiss at the end of the game. And she's like, don't turn it off. Don't turn it off. Let's see what happens. And I was like, you're just going to wait until they kiss, aren't you? And I'm like, of course they're going to show it, right?
I thought I thought they might get married that night.
I know. I thought for sure we're going to see a drop to one knee or something. I was like, oh my gosh, here we go. You're in Vegas. You're going to go elope on the strip or something. I was like, where's this going? It could be amazing, but so I don't know. I'm not a Chiefs fan. I see we got Casey Card Connection in here, but I appreciate what they brought this year. They never gave up. They had a really mediocre season, and they just brought it in the playoffs. And honestly, I didn't want the Ravens. I wanted the Bills just because I thought Josh Allen getting over the hump would have been great for the hobby. But hey, you got to tip your hat to excellence. Mahomes never gave up, whether it's scripted or not. The guy can ball when the game's on the line, and that was fun to watch. It was a fun game to watch, even though the first half was boring.
It was really boring, but that second half and overtime made up for it. And then, hey, man, sell the hype, guys. I waited. I thought the Chiefs were probably going to win, and I have a Patrick Mahomes gold out of 10 card that might sell for a crazy number. Sell the hype. And speaking of selling the hype, before we went live, I got on eBay and I was looking at the Caitlin Clark first Bowman's. Her base sapphire from this year, which is not a first because I don't think she has a first sapphire. $30 for a base sapphire of Caitlin Clark.
That's not that expensive.
I mean, but compared
is that raw? Or
it's raw. That's raw.
Okay.
So compared to a lot of first Bowman of really good players, obviously you're not getting a Jackson Holiday for $30, but you can go get a lot of players for $30 that are cheaper than that. Her prices are pretty strong. A PSA 10 of her first Bowman Chrome is $100 or more. I mean, it's PSA 10. Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So anyway, we kind of kicked it off with some basketball, but now we're going to move on to what everybody's been waiting for. This one's just for John. We're back on baseball, and it is a podcast. He was bad-mouthing us a little bit. I like to call out the people.
Who's bad-mouthing us?
It was up there a little bit. It wasn't that bad, but he says he hates this podcast. For him, we're getting back on baseball. 2024 Topps Series 1. I said I wasn't going to buy any, but I also said I would buy it cheaper later on. And I don't like hobby boxes for $90 or more. I don't like jumbos for $175 or more. When you sent me that link yesterday for hangers on Card Giants, where you could get them for $10 a piece to the door, I was like, I'm going to open some. And I had been watching breaks of jumbos, hobbies. I saw some hanger boxes. Blaster boxes are pretty cool for the right price. I don't like them for 25 plus tax. But There's a lot of good stuff in there. The hits just aren't as prevalent. And I actually love the idea of the Phillies having that Kevin Hart short print with his image on there real little, and they numbered to 52 because he's 5'2".
Yeah.
And hey, Tops or Fanatics, if you're watching, if you put Eddie Vedder on Cubs cards, I will go buy the whole rainbow of those. Make them 10 out of 10 for the 10 album. I don't know. Do something cool, because I would freaking buy Eddie Vedder stuff and Cubs stuff together. I like that idea of, you're like, okay, I don't know how many Kevin Hart I guarantee you there's super fans for Kevin Hart.
Right.
If they find out about that, they're going to want to buy those cards. They're going to like, I want that, right? So it's getting
maybe.
that kind of, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
You're getting that cross, hobby and collectible stuff. I kind of like that stuff. It has a story. And again, you can love it or hate it, but it gets a discussion going.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of what they do with the holiday product every year, when they put the elves in the background or Santa Claus in the stands of like some player, rather than like the necklace or the bat or the glove or armband or whatever. Kind of reminds me of that. I mean, it's kind of like a Where's Waldo. That would have been a fun, creative way to get people to pay more attention. I don't know where they put the card. Anybody know in the chat where they put the card? Is it in the middle of the stack where it's easy to know that it is that card? Or is it just literally in the middle of the base that people are just blasting through during breaks and they have no idea that card is actually in there? And you really got to pay attention. I mean, I could see it both ways on this one. I'm curious. The other thing that we didn't mention, but it's the first stamp, the one that has like the very first, off the production line or whatever, kind of like 1 out of a million or whatever. I mean, that's kind of a gimmick in a way. I'll tell you what, one thing I do miss, this would have been a great year because of the Ellie chase for one of the like you did with Wandermania, to have a first edition box for about $300.
Yeah.
And have a really low print run. This would have been a great year to do that, Tops, but you guys canceled that product, unfortunately.
Yep.
But last year was not necessarily as big of a hit, but this year I think it would have been a big hit. So anyway, yeah.
Hey, imagine if Panini put Taylor Swift a numbered card on every Kansas City Chief card. How crazy those would be going.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be crazy. But anyway, you know what I really like? I like and I don't like. I have seen quite a few of the team color match cards pulled. And
yeah, they seem to be more common.
There are some that are freaking. The Oakland A's card looks really cool.
Yeah.
The Baltimore Orioles card looks really cool. I looked yesterday. I did not look today. I was looking to see what a Cubs one is. I have not seen a Cubs one yet. But
I haven't seen a Brewers one yet either. I've seen a lot of Mets. I've seen a lot of Yankees. I've seen the Reds one, the A's one, like you said.
The Reds one does not look good at all. I didn't think it really stood out.
Yeah, the Reds logo is kind of muted in the background. It really doesn't stand out. I think maybe they could have done with a white background with logos to make it stand out more. But I get the color match, but maybe like just kind of almost make it a little more translucent in a way. That might have been a good feature. I will say this. Somebody made a comment on one of the videos where they pulled one of those cards, or maybe it was on Instagram, that said those cards look about as good as what would show up in a dollar bin. And I was like, well, I don't know about that. But I guess if you pull a Tyler Glasnow Tampa Bay Rays color match, whatever team logo, it's probably gonna end up in a dollar bin someday. That's not going to be a huge card. It pretty much is rookie or star or bust on those cards. And so there's a lot of nothing that's going to be pulled on those. Unfortunately, with a 350 card checklist, that's just the way it goes.
Oh my God, that's funny. Stu just sent me a picture of the Cubs. It looks decent. I wouldn't say it looks awesome. Looks decent. But another card that I like that's coming out is the True Photo variation. It's very Stadium Clubbish. I actually like just the.
Have you seen any of those pulled yet?
I did see one
The-
pulled last night out of a blaster, and it was the Yankees team card, and it had
Okay,
Aaron Judge, and it was dude, it was nice.
Golden Mirrors appear to be a little bit easier to pull than that.
Wow.
Like I would rank like what I've seen so far from all the breaks I've opened and the people posting videos in order from easiest to hardest. HFA, the team color variation, Golden Mirror, and then the other one even harder. That to me seems like the one with the borderless card with the true image is the hardest of the four to pull. HFAs are flowing out of this product like crazy.
Yeah, and
it's
speaking of HFAs, every one that I've seen, the Ellie one, the Julio one, man, they Randy Rosarena I've seen, they look amazing. Really like
it's
those.
interesting to see because I have like two key HFAs from the rookie year. I have a Julio HFA and a 9 that I graded. I have a Torque HFA and a 9 that I graded. I have a couple other players that are vets. But I think what could happen with the HFA, because they made it more eye appealing this year, is it actually could draw some nostalgia to the very first iteration at some point. It's not there yet, but the hobby really wanted to hate that card. But if all of a sudden you love the double image and the busyness of this card and you love that card, you're going to love the old one too eventually.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to hang on to that Julio HFA PSA 9. I ain't selling that thing. I'm just going to see what happens. I don't see a reason to sell that because I don't think the hobby respects that card, even though it's a 9. 9s are hard to come by on those because a lot of 8s came out as well with the dark back. I think in the long run, if he becomes something special, that's going to be a card that has some rarity in the first version. If you start grading this one, they're coming out. I look at sold listings on eBay. The number of Julio, I wish I had the count, but the number of Julio HFAs already in 2024 that came out, it's a ton. And so that card is going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
But the one from 2022, not quite as easy. And I think people are going to end up going back to that and having nostalgia to say, why did I hate this card so much? Why did I think this was a downtown knockoff? I love the card now. Maybe I should love that card. We'll just have to wait and see what happens.
I'm not going to go dig it out of the archives because I don't know when or where I said it. But when those HFAs came out last year, I was on record saying if you had the cojones to go and buy a complete set, all 30, the 10 from Series 1, Series 2, and Update, and get PSA 10s and put those away and hold them, that down the road, that could be a monster set. And you're right. I agree with you. One, those graded tough, so there's not many 10s. You're going to have to pay up for some 10s. But there's a lot of cheap ones, too. I do think that 30-card set could go and be like the first ever Kaboom set worth a ton of money. Do you have the cojones to go sit on them for a while and put it together? It's a lot of time, money, and effort. I just don't want to do that.
I'm going to sit on the Torque and the J-Rod, at least for now. I didn't want to sell them. I didn't grade any more. I kept them raw, but I don't know. It's hard to say what to do with those. There's no perfect answer. I did sell that Ricky. I pulled a Ricky Henderson. I think I sold that thing for like $130. Actually, it was way more valuable than I thought. I was like,
yeah, dude.
Well, shoot, somebody wants this thing raw for $130. I'm gonna sell it.
Dude, they're tough pulls, man. And
I was like that's a no-brainer.
I graded a bunch of those, and I think I got one PSA 10 of all the ones I graded.
Yeah, I looked at the as good as the Henderson was, I don't think it would have got a 10. I think confidently it was a 9.
No. Somebody mentioned, what do you think of the Independence Day parallels? Dude, one of probably the best card in the whole set, in my opinion. The Independence Day parallels, they knocked it out of the park. Grand slam with that. I personally love the Independence Day parallels this year. One of my favorite cards. I know some people don't. You got to keep in mind. The high school I went to was red and black colors.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite color. I was a Bulls fan as a kid. The original red and black Jordans. The Ellie De La Cruz black parallel in his retro uniform, whatever they call them, the hometown uniform series.
City Connect uniform.
Dude, yeah, the City Connect. That card is like my favorite card of all. The black parallel of Ellie De La Cruz. I would love to own one of those. Let me pull one.
I think the icy red would look good. I think the black would look good. Hard to grade, obviously. Stu said that in our other chat said that the camo he thought was better this year because they went back to a natural camo. The only gripe I have about it is because it's traditional like army camo colors now. It doesn't really match with any team.
No,
I mean, maybe it's a little green, so it might match with like the A's or the Marlins or something like that. But I don't know. I just something about it. Like I like the Desert Storm type camo, even though maybe the pixelated version we didn't want that. But I think a natural version like that with the more of the sandy tones would have been interesting to keep. But I do appreciate what they've done with trying to go back to a natural look. I agree with you that Independence Day looks fantastic. Those are extremely tough to pull. I thought I would see more of those pulled. I've barely seen any of those pulled. And the other thing I will say as a gripe about some of those parallels, it looks like they had a really dull knife on the top edge of some of these cards.
Yeah.
And that's really unfortunate. As cool as these cards are, to have, the centering looks fine, but that top edge seems like it's not cut very good. I don't know why, but maybe it just appears that way on camera. But to me, like gold foils, yellow foils, some of those Independence Day parallels, some of the camo parallels and the black, they just along the top edge, they look really poorly cut.
Yeah, there's definitely some quality control issues again. I don't think that's ever gonna go away. Every year we're gonna be talking about it. Another thing that I thought they missed on.
Mm-hmm.
I just think the golden mirror parallel, the backs of them, they went all yellow, but I don't think it looks that great. It's like, give me a nice shiny golden ticket like Willy Wonka, please. Give me something freaking cool.
Well, we could bring that up about the 1 of 1 too. So Stu sent a picture of the platinum 1 of 1, and I've always thought that card looks just awful. It doesn't.
Yeah.
There's nothing great looking about it. I mean, that's the golden ticket, and you have a very plain platinum muted color. Looks like pewter, and it's just like, why isn't this card looking more special? The other parallels look more special than the 1 of 1.
Yes.
I mean, the 1 of 1 that you pulled back in the day, at least it had stars on it.
That was a cool looking one.
I mean, that was a cool looking 1 of 1. I'd like to see more of that. The 1 of 1 that we have now is just it's a very boring looking card.
It's a gray, it's
like, oh great, it's a gray card, big deal. Looks like vintage stock on the back, big deal. I don't know. I mean, to me, they could do a better job with that.
I agree with you 100%. I'm trying to think of anything else. I was just kind of brainstorming of what I've seen. Stars of the MLB. Man, I'm so glad the Stars of the MLB are back. Says no one ever. It's
it's funny. The first round of like opening, people are like, "Oh, this card looks amazing." I'm like, "You're gonna get sick of that real quick." I'm like, by the fourth case that you're gonna see opened of retail, you're gonna be like, I hate this card. I hate it because you see it's everywhere and it never stops. And I agree with you. It looks better aesthetically than the first year they had it, but I'm already sick of it. And I'm like, it's got like a Star Wars type look, like with the, like the warp speed kind of look. I don't know. I'm sick of it already. The other thing I will gripe about, I know that they did this because they tried to add more parallels and tried to add more hits. I appreciate the yellows, but these yellow crackle, the yellow foil, the gold, the whatever these foils are, they all are basically the same card. They just have different colors. The ones in the mega box with the 89 throwback, they're the same ice foils that you saw in the super box that are of the base cards. So you're getting a lot of cards that look so similar. The only ones that are different are the out of $7.99 and out of $9.99, where they have like the shimmer look or the very mini diamond look. Those look different. But there are so many cards now that we call them crackle, foil, hollow, whatever. They all look the same. And it's too much.
It is too much. I mean, every format's got something different. It's almost impossible to keep up. And, you know, we've been asking for something to juice up the boxes. I like it in a certain way. I'm just going to go back to Fanatics, Topps. You got to bring down the print runs. I like the yellow parallels in the hangers. The yellows, people like. There's a lot of stuff I like, but you don't have to make so much of it. You know?
Well, yeah. I mean, I appreciate trying to get the cards out to a new audience. I appreciate that. I appreciate trying to get kids involved. Whether you're trying to create gamblers or whether you're trying to create hobbyists, only time will tell. If you keep lowering card count and keep raising prices, that's not a great precedent to set on a paper flagship product that you say should be available to everyone. Getting $90 for a hobby box and seeing a lot of them come out with 2 parallels, no autos, no hits in the silver pack, that's a little depressing. Seeing a $180 jumbo box or $175 jumbo box with 3 parallels, an auto, and it's a sticker auto, and the 2 relics, obviously they're not doing as many manufactured relics, which we can appreciate, but you're not seeing a lot of juiced jumbo boxes. You're seeing some that are okay and some that are going to be a little bit more on the better side, like the one that Striker opened during the live for his break with the guy Ramirez. He pulled the card 5 out of 10. Those are hard to come by, and they should be hard to come by. But it's not a great precedent when that's the price point, when you're lowering the card count and keeping the price even higher. I know inflation's been there. It's been there for the last year. But last year when they came out with a pretty good rookie class in Series 1, jumbos were $150, 460 cards. They were juiced to the high heaven. Now, they were the only good thing in Series 1. But then you go a year later, you're 60 cards down, you're $30 higher, and you're less parallels. Now, make that make sense, other than somebody just trying to make a buck. You can't say it's the best thing ever. You can't say that. It's not terrible. It's not the worst product in the world, but it's not headed in a great direction. And that's the part that I think is a little concerning. But for somebody who, like me, this year was planning on just buying singles, waiting a bit, maybe gobbling up some raw at a card show. I got a card show tomorrow to maybe go to. See if I can find some stuff, get it graded. That's the way I'm going to play this product. I don't hate the rookie class. I don't hate the way the cards look too much. A little bit too much crackle going on. I'm a little put off by that. But maybe I can change when I see it in person. Fair enough. But again, going back to what I was saying, card count reductions, price increases, hits going down. Whether you call it a print run decrease, increase, I don't know which way you want to slice it. It seems like a print run increase, even if the number of base cards goes down. And it just doesn't set a great precedent.
Yeah, and that's where I was like, I'm going to play it slow. I'm going to wait till stuff goes on sale. And then you hit me with that link, and I'm like, you know what? I can get 74 hanger boxes for $740. That's actually not the worst deal. Can you get them for $9? Maybe. But I saw a couple retail openings like, I'm going to go ahead and just send it once. I'm self-proclaimed king of flagship. I was going to open flagship. I just didn't expect to get it this cheap this early because I didn't think they'd have a discount, Well,
they always have the standard.
Dude, it's selling. This product, say what you want. I know it's still the first week, but people are buying the crap out of it.
Yes and no. I only think they threw so much up on the website of Card Giants. They don't have an abundance of cases. I mean, they probably got they probably, I don't know, had a couple hundred. But you still see the jumbos on the website. You still see the hobbies on the website. You still see the value boxes on the website. The Fanatics website still has the $30 boxes with the impossible to hit bonus redemption that we didn't talk about yet. You still see the mega boxes on Target. You see the hanger boxes on Target. Now the blaster boxes. Those products are going to sit everywhere.
Yeah.
Maybe not sit, but there's too much of it to disappear instantly. And so that's going to be available for a long time. Cases of hangers, they probably didn't have a lot, at least on Card Giants, because maybe their allocation was what it was, or they bought what they bought. They'll rebuy whatever. They got their initial allocation. They always offer that standard discount of you spend $1,000 to take 25% off, which is always great to see. I wish other sites would do that. I think I made a video about a month ago talking about ways to improve Series 1. If everybody offered that same discount, I think it would increase the buying potential even more. Like a Target or a Walmart, if they were to offer that type of discount in a volume purchase, that'd be great.
Yeah. One other thing I have about Series 1 and just flagship in general, I really enjoyed, I think it was 2017, they had like Aaron Judge inserts in like Walmart. And they had Cody Bellinger at Target. And then the next year they might have had like Mike Trout and Harper. I like that. Like they could have done something really cool this year with like Series 1. You could have done Shohei Ohtani and Ronald Acuna Jr. And then for Series 2, you could throw in some crazy insert set of Elly De La Cruz and maybe Volpe, or not Volpe, but Dominguez, or any other rookie that may come out of nowhere. I just don't think sometimes that, again, stars the MLB. I'm just going to go back to it. You don't need it again. I need to look. I wish I would have looked before this. I'm pretty certain it was 2019 update, and it was retail only. And it had, for each team, it had like for the Mariners, it had Ichiro and Ken Griffey Jr. on there. And each card had some really cool players, and then they had parallels. And it was a 50-card set. And that 50-card set was worth putting together. You were getting $25 for the complete set. So it made, last year, I got a box right here. I could probably pull them out. I got a whole box of Stars the MLB cards that are literally worthless. Make them, quarter cards, 10-cent cards. Mello just said he pulled a golden mirror out of a hanger. Our hangers bangers. Kiwi Shark says hangers are loaded.
Loaded is a loaded term, right? I would say better than last year, not the best we've ever seen, but not bad. Relative to the rest of the product, pretty good, but not the best we've ever seen.
No.
It's hard to beat 2022 update. Even 2023 update had a lot of parallels per box because they didn't make a lot of it, even though the rookie class was kind of god-awful. But go back to 2018, obviously that's a unicorn product with Ohtani, Soto, and Acuna. We'll probably never see a product like that again, printed very low. That's the loaded product. But you're not going to go back in a time machine and get that for $10 a box, unfortunately.
No. Oh man, it's always fun, no matter how good or bad the product is. After a winter of no products, really, through the middle of February here, Valentine's Day just got over, and then Series 1 comes out, and it's just like, I have enjoyed the last couple nights just turning on the TV and watching some recaps. Last night I was watching the second duel. NASCAR, I'm not going to go to NASCAR tonight, but the second duel was on, and I had that on, but I had a break muted, so I was watching a jumbo case, and then this morning I woke up and watched Restless Craft Breakers. He's doing blaster box cases, and he pulled an Elly De La Cruz numbered autograph out of a blaster. It was the only autograph of the 40-box case, and it was an Elly De La Cruz numbered auto. Like, that makes the case. There was some cool stuff out of that case overall. But again, I don't like blaster cases for $25 plus tax.
Right.
I like them for the discount. Card Giants has them. Card Giants has them for. People are asking if they had hangers. They have hangers on Card Giants, but not cases now. You have to buy them in a limited amount.
Yeah, I think it maxes 16 at the moment. Somebody asked for the link earlier. I don't have the ability to put that in chat right now, but if you go to cardgiants.com and type in the search under top series 1, you should see it on the listing of the drop down menu. You'll find it. It's I always go and check there just periodically. It is a way to get cheap product usually if you want to open something. All the sealed cases I've ever bought were from there. I don't know if there's anything different about the ones they get versus other stores, but for some reason their prices always seem to be the cheapest, and they do ship pretty good. Honestly, I've never had any gripes about them.
Yeah, I like that you have to sign for the product.
Yeah, you're right. You gotta. They do signature required.
I like that a lot. I just
free shipping. I think it's free shipping too. They do insure it though, but it's free shipping,
which is fine. So they have they've got a fat pack case, 108. Anybody opening fat packs for $754.92. Plus, you can get the discounts. They have the discount code up there. 20%
I'd consider
off.
Buying that. If they had one unique parallel, like one card per pack, I might consider buying that. The fat packs for the right price, because you get 100 of them. But it would have to be like, you would have had to sneak in instead of a yellow, like, or the teal like we have in the Fanatics boxes. You probably have to sneak in like I don't know, like a seafoam green or something like that.
Let me add. I'm putting the blaster boxes in the cart. Disc 25. What's a blaster case running for? You can get you get a blaster case for $749.70 plus. They're going to throw in a few bucks for shipping.
About $18 a box. Case. It works out to I think about $18.70 a box,
which is a pretty good value after seeing blaster boxes.
It's not bad.
This is if you're going to open in bulk.
With the Easter parallels, as somebody mentioned earlier, they like those. I wish they would have done something different I get Easter at springtime, that's fair. But you could have done a Valentine's Day parallel, a St. Patrick's Day parallel. You could have done Easter. You could have done all of them. That would have been so cool if you could have snuck in all the spring holidays that we don't have cards of already. Instead of just Easter, maybe Valentine's Day, President's Day parallels. That would be freaking awesome.
You could get
that would have been awesome if we could have gotten President's Day parallels or something like that. Like you have almost like the presidential silhouette in the background. That would have been so cool.
You could get about that one. Leprechaun on there.
Mello says global climate change parallel coming 2025. Yeah, probably.
Greta, you can get Greta on there.
So the question I have, obviously they have the Series 1 now has the same thing that Update did last year. Update had Halloween. We've obviously seen Christmas products before. What do you think the parallel is, the unique parallel of choice is for Series 2?
The unique parallel for Series 2 that they're going to do, man.
Yeah.
4th of July, bottle rockets, man.
We already have the Independence Day.
Yeah.
That already exists, right? We already have Memorial Day camo. What do we get? We got Mother's Day and Father's Day too.
Yeah, What
do we get?
I just think the 4th of July holiday, there's so much stuff. Hot dogs. You can maybe you get a summertime parallel where you have hot dogs and
the grill parallel or something like that. I don't know.
The different fireworks, Black Cats, bottle rockets, M80s. Dude, there are some crazy people on the 4th of July who buy some serious fireworks, man.
I think an interesting idea. I don't know that they'll do it, but have a take on baseball, because baseball's a national pastime. It's a summer activity, right? It's the thing you want to be doing in summer is being outside of a baseball game. Maybe a parallel that reminds you that baseball season is going on in general, a take me out to the ball game parallel or something like that, or I I don't know, just think of something like that. You know, what are some cool things at baseball games that you see like around the country? Something like that might be a fun way to lawn stripes. I like that idea. Yeah, you know, fun things like that would be interesting. Hot dogs, peanuts, yeah, just the foods that you eat at a ball game, right? That might
Cracker
be fun.
Jacks.
Fanatics, if you're listening, there's your $1 million idea. You can go sell a ton of blasters in Series 2. Do a summertime parallel with baseball parks in mind, hot dogs, whatever. There you go. End of story.
Yeah.
Done. I just innovated for you. Jeff, I expect your Instagram account to talk about it tomorrow. ERB Sports innovated. You heard it here first. No, what am I talking about? I don't have that kind of influence. I'm just going to shut up.
Can they just hire us to just sit in a room and just bullshit every day about sports cards and just come throw out wacky ideas and then let the artist go do the work and come up with it?
It would be
that
fun.
would be fun.
You know, it would be fun to. It would be a way to be more inclusive in the hobby. Like, let your customers dictate what they want, right?
Well, okay. So I don't know if you're a gamer, but this is for the people who play Call of Duty. Call of Duty used to be the game that everybody played, and every year Call of Duty was just the number one game out there. And then they got away with what was awesome. And every year people be like, Call of Duty sucks. You guys aren't listening to us. This is what you need to do to make it better. This is what we like. We love the score streaks. I don't know if you played Call of Duty. But I used to play Call of Duty all the time. I finally got to the point where they just kept doing the same thing every year, and it sucked every year. And I haven't purchased Call of Duty the last couple of years because it's just like, take me back to the Black Ops 3's days, please. Anyway, that's my rant. Any Call of Duty players out there? This is what's going on with kind of they parallel each other. But
my son plays it. I know that. I'm not a big video game person, or at least not like Xbox or anything or PlayStation. But yeah, I don't really have anything else on Series 1. But I think you reached the end of my list.
I did too. It's been a lot of fun to kick off this 2024, you know? Seen some cool polls. We're going to find out about the rookies. The rookie class is just kind of like, okay, not bad, not good. But I'm looking forward to Topps Chrome. I think Chrome could be freaking awesome.
I just hope they don't raise the prices, but they probably will. I hope they leave the card counts in the box the same as last year. That would be nice. I think Logo Fractor this year could be amazing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
With 110 card checklist with the guys in Series 2 as well. I don't think Jackson Chourio is going to make Series 2. We don't even know if he's going to be called up yet.
No.
We don't know if Jackson Holiday is going to get called up yet. One of those guys is going to end up in a big league roster at some point this year, or probably both. That'll be very interesting, but I think Logo Fractor or a low print run product like that would be very, very interesting this summer if you can get your hands on it at retail price. That would be fun. That's something I would consider buying a decent amount of for both opening or sitting on or, whatever. But as much as I want to get in on the fun of Series 1 and fear that I'm missing out on something, I'm not going to do it. I got to stick to my guns on this one. I said I was out. I made a video about that. I said I'm not going to touch it. And I think I'm going to stay true to that. If my wife asked me earlier today, she's like, why didn't you buy any Series 1? You normally buy a lot of that. And I was like, Braden's going to be in college next year. I obviously have a card account that is my card account. And I got to make some tough calls. And one of them was I just can't buy Series 1 this year. I'm going to stay true to that. I'm going to stick around for other products. I'm going to keep selling. I've got a bunch of orders that I graded recently. I still got to sell through all of those, refund the account. We'll see if the price is right. Maybe I change my mind, but right now I missed out on the hangers, and I really don't feel terrible about it. And I think it'll work out in the long run.
I don't blame you at all. It's a long year. There's way more products coming. There's going to be some really good products. And, Bowman's going to be coming out, Bowman Sapphire, and then Topps Chrome and Topps Chrome Sapphire and Logo Fractor. And who knows, Update could be the best product of the year again this year. We'll see what happens. It's hard to predict, but I don't blame you at all. But let's change gears. I had a little story today that I just caught my eye. It'll only take a minute or two, but there's this kid named Parker Bird. He debuted at Eastern Carolina University. He's the first Division I athlete to compete with a prosthetic leg in baseball.
Oh, wow.
Dude, it is incredible. If you get on Twitter or if you Google Patrick Bird, ECU, you can watch the video of him coming up to bat with his prosthetic leg. He lost his leg in a boating accident, I guess.
Oh, wow.
And, dude, I mean, it gave me chills with this ovation he got coming up there, like to see somebody who, he's a Division I athlete. He's getting that bat in the game. And
well, remember back in the day, Jim Abbott, who was, had, a non-functioning hand with the glove and pitched with the same hand. And, those type of things are an inspiration. It makes it difficult to make it up to that highest level, but it's just an inspiration to never give up, right? Never always have that perseverance attitude. Yeah, Memphis, Jim Abbott. Definitely. We haven't seen anybody in the major leagues like that in a long, long time. But, unless I'm missing somebody, I know there's one guy. Do you ever see the guy from the Oakland? He played for the Oakland Athletics. The guy that can pitch, basically he's like ambidextrous to the point where he has a glove that is for both hands. So he pitches from both sides of the mound in the same at bat.
Pretty incredible, isn't it?
You ever see that guy? Like that's incredible. Like that thing, when I lived out in the Bay Area for a couple of years, he was on the A's. Weirdest thing ever. I was like, wasn't that guy just pitching righty? Now he's pitching lefty, then he's back to righty. Then it's just like your mind is just blown. You're like, what's going on here? Like he's just making. Yeah, it was like, it was Pat Vanetti or Pat Vendetti or something like that. Somebody look up the name. I don't know if he's still in the league, but man, that dude it was cool to see him pitch because literally batter to batter or even sometimes intra at bat, I think he could switch because he had a glove that was universal. And I was like, what?
That'd be great. As a batter, that'd be crazy, man. You'd be like, what in the world's going on here?
It was crazy. Like I had to do a double take. I'm like, when the hell did you do a pitching change? Same guy.
Let's stay on some baseball here. Scott Boras, if you're a team that's frustrated about winning and you want to be competitive, and your GM, you could go out and get a pitching staff right now in the major leagues. I mean, Boras has Snell and Jordan Montgomery, a couple pitchers that could help you win. If you need a bat, you got Cody Bellinger and Matt Chapman out there. He's got JD Martinez too. I don't necessarily like JD Martinez, but like Bellinger and Chapman, I would love to add to the lineup. And here Boras we're coming up on the start of the season and these dudes are still on the sidelines. These owners are playing hardball, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, spring training hasn't officially started yet. Obviously, pitchers and catchers had to report, but
I might have froze.
No, you're still here.
Okay, there we go.
Trevor Bauer said he was willing to play for the big league minimum.
Dude. Yeah. We talked about that. He plays for the minimum and he wants I would love Trevor Bauer on the Cubs. League minimum, playing for bonuses. If he's an asshole, you can boot him off because you're paying him league minimum. And if he's awesome, you're going to pay him what you deserve. Holy crap, we have a dono, $9.99.
What league is Wander going to end up playing in? The California Penal League?
He could.
He's going to be the next Rick Vaughn. I don't know. It's so sad what happened to him. It's funny. That's the one guy he's completely missing from the 2024 product. Thank God they didn't put him in there, or no autos or nothing. You check the entire checklist. There's no Wander cards to be seen. They obviously just steered clear of that one. And then they stopped fulfilling the redemptions. Did you hear that? They're offering 4x the current market value if you pull a Wander redemption. I wish I could have that back because I actually had that Wander Auto that I pulled on one of our live streams. I got it graded. I was on vacation. It came back while I was on vacation and sat there for 2 weeks. And then I came back and it was like August 15th. And then that news had already broke. And I'm like, well, I'm screwed now. And so that's a bad beat.
Yeah,
I get a couple bad beats on autos.
That's rough, dude.
Go back and watch one of my videos. I was talking about the 2020 rookie class, and I pulled a LaMelo Ball expired redemption out of a blaster box of Optic. Ouch, that one stung. I sold it though. I did okay on the sale. I probably should have redeemed that even though it was expired because I'm sure they would have still had the card. But I panicked at the time and I said, you know what? Somebody pay me $100 for it. You can have it. You can have that risk. I'm out.
You know, selling is good. Selling is good.
He says I'm cursed.
Ooh.
You know, I am probably cursed in this hobby. I tell you that.
Mello sent a picture. He pulled an Evan Carter gold out of one of his hangers. Sick.
Ooh, that's nice. Yeah.
There's still some good stuff in there worth opening, but what else? You got anything else baseball wise? I don't have anything else baseball wise.
I don't really have anything else baseball wise at this time. I know people are used to seeing us do a box battle. For those of you who are new tuning in, but I don't. Do you have anything on hand that I would have? No. I mean, I'm not saying we have to do a box battle, but we'd have to take a slight time out and go do a scavenger hunt for some boxes. Leave it up to you.
I don't really have anything that's worth opening right now. I mean, there's some stuff to open, but I mean, I don't think you'd have it either. It's just, I mean, I could just bust this case of 2022 Bowman that's been sitting here.
No. No, you can save that for off camera when nobody's watching.
I had somebody offer me $3,000 for that case locally cash, and I would make a quick buck on what I paid for it, but I still think once Chourio debuts, it's going to go to $3,500.
Yeah,
like overnight. So I might as well wait.
Jake asked if we have any 2022 update left. The only thing I have left is I think I have a couple hangers and I have a blaster box that I got at Lids unexpectedly, like maybe 3 months ago. I opened my 2 hobby boxes. One of them, I didn't post the video. I pulled a black of a rookie, but it was Joe Denand. And I pulled a Julio short print out of the other box, and that paid for both boxes. So I'm happy with that. Even though I opened both boxes, I took the risk, but I pulled the right card, sold it, got it graded a 10. Actually, got it graded a 10, then sold it. And I did all right on that one. Probably should have held that one, but I don't know. Sometimes you got to restock the bank account.
It's just like the stock market. It's hard to get the perfect time. You don't.
Nah, there's winners and losers, right? You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. And the way I look at it is you got a dollar cost average. You wish you could play it all perfect, but you can't. And
I had some advice a few years ago from a guy who's been in the hobby 40 plus years. And he says, you sell it and you never turn back, because anytime you make a couple bucks, it's better than losing a couple bucks.
Yeah.
So
I look at it this way. The Ellie De La Cruz auto that I pulled in the parking lot when we did that video that's got to be 2 years ago now.
Dude, yeah, it's been 2 years.
I graded that. It got a 10. The Mojo auto out of a mega box from Target. I sold that the day he got called up, and I sold it for $375. And I kicked myself all summer that why the hell did I sell that? It hit like $1,000. I'm like, you moron. Well, you can buy that same card again for $400.
Yep.
So it came back to where it started. And so I made money. I was happy. There was a peak I missed out on, but if I want to rebuy, I can rebuy what I sold it for.
Yep.
Not the worst thing in the world.
No. And it funds your hobby. We all collect different. I know I have to sell quite a bit to keep opening. I'm just an opener. And, that's what I like about the card hobby. is you need people to open the cards to get the singles. The singles buyers need guys like me and you and Peds and a bunch of other people to get those cards out there, right? And
Yeah.
without
No doubt.
us, without all those people listing those cards, there would be no cards to buy. So, I mean, if we were all hoarders, if we opened them and just hoarded them, there wouldn't be any cards to buy.
I think, that we could talk about that topic for another show. I've heard that a lot of people talk about that. They're like, well, I don't open wax because I don't want to take the loss, but I'll be glad to buy the singles from people who do. And I think to some extent there are service providers in this hobby, and if people are taking that risk, it's sort of like you got to tip the dealer eventually, right? Not saying they have to, but if you're always waiting for scrounging up the singles because somebody else is taking all the risk, well, to keep them opening singles, maybe you tip the dealer occasionally. Just maybe.
Hey, my bulk buyer, and this is why I've done business with him many times, is I've made deals with them where I've said, hey, man, I'm giving you a really good deal. And if you crush it, throw me a bone. And he's come back the next time and he's actually paid me a few $100s more, saying thanks for the good deal. I made more. And like I enjoy that. And that is a way to give somebody, a nice little bonus. So
that's a great point. It's a circle of not a circle of life. That's the bad. It's a circular activity, right? There's a repetition to it. By you having a buyer, he treats you right. You give him deals. He keeps buying, but he knows what makes you open is for him to show appreciation occasionally so that you feel good about the next time you're opening, because he's going to call you again and buy again. You're going to continue to feed him good deals. And it's a perpetual cycle that both parties feel like they're not taking advantage of each other. And I think the same thing can be said for Fanatics and their customers. You do programs like the buyback. That's a similar type thing. You're throwing a coupon at them to buy more product. There's an appreciation of that. You can do more of that. That's the sort of thing that I think keeps the money machine going for both parties, right? You want somebody to open the product so that there's singles to be bought, so that there's card shows to go to, so there's other things to happen, so there's cards to grade, et cetera, et cetera. I think having that sort of incentive, that inflection of cash, whether it's through your bulk buyer, through a Fanatics, or through whomever, goes a long way.
I like it. Did you want to talk about the Anthony Richardson thing at all?
Oh, yeah. I'm just reading the comments. Okay, so the Anthony Richardson thing, I saw there's a post going around on X right now talking about Anthony Richardson. Apparently PSA is not grading his autos, saying that there's suspect autos. Well, I think a couple things could be true here. We don't know all the facts, but Anthony Richardson had shoulder surgery, I think in week 4. He had an AC joint on his throwing shoulder on his writing hand that he needed surgery on. So if he was still signing Panini stickers after the shoulder surgery, if it is him, a couple things could have happened. Either he had to change his signature and it was a little less neat because of the surgery and he had his arm in a sling and he was still trying to honor that contract, or he had somebody else that he knows sign the stickers. Not saying that happened, but it could have happened. Or in the third, the worst thing would have been Panini did it in spite of it to fake it, and they did it because they said, well, we need Anthony Richardson autos because we don't have CJ Stroud, we don't have Bryce Young, we don't have, and they're like, you get those damn autos in the product. It's like the movie Elf when he's like, he's going through the thing and there's a blank page here, and he's like, ship it. He's like, we need that money, right? You hate to think that third option is what happened, but Anthony Richardson could clear all this up by saying, I either signed the stickers or I didn't.
Yep. Hey, I was hurt. My hand was jacked. I had to use my left hand. So something. That's an interesting story that popped up today. I just didn't read enough about it to know. I'm glad you were caught up on that.
If you see the one that floats around about the Cleveland quarterback, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, though, that's the one that's really eye-opening. There are 2 signatures of stickers on his auto that look nothing like each other. One is slanted heavily to the right, and another one is very straight up and down with very kind of bubbly lettering, and they look nothing alike. And you're like, these could not possibly have been signed by the same person.
It's
not
girlfriend must have
possible.
signed them.
But-
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, we're at the hour mark, and the only thing I have left, and I know a lot of people don't watch this, but I am pumped. Last week was the Super Bowl. This week is the Super Bowl of sports, car racing,
Oh, I think we're going to talk
NASCAR,
about the All-Star game.
and that too, All-Star game. But I'm looking forward to Sunday, the NASCAR race. Maybe my boy Kyle Busch can finally win the Daytona 500. It's one of the few races that guy has not won. He's an exceptional talent. I saw Jimmy Johnson made it into the race, which he had a race in. I don't know if you follow that, but he had a race in last night and he almost didn't make it. He had a last lap pass. He got in there. But I'm looking forward to Sunday.
We can stick with racing. So I'll deliver 2 pieces of information. One, I'm going to have a print run video and a odds video out about Formula One hobby boxes that are on Topps and Fanatics right now of Formula One Chrome, in case anybody's interested in that. Not saying you guys are, but I'm a race fan. So I'll talk about that in an upcoming video. And then the second thing, racing related, for the first time ever in a long, long time, IndyCar, the Indy 500. If you guys are fans of that sport, I am. I live here in Indiana. I should be a fan of that sport. And they're going to have a trading card product that comes out in March. But unfortunately, it's released by Parkside Cards, which isn't the worst company in the world, apparently. It's probably better than Leaf in terms of licensed product. It is going to be a licensed product. There's going to be 27 autographs in the checklist, 2 guaranteed autos per hobby box with, I think, a $90 price point. And there's some Brickyard relics in there in terms of brick relics from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
There's
There's
cool.
some checkered flag relics from Joseph Newgarden that were apparently when he won the Indy 500. Some pretty cool stuff in there.
That's really cool.
I bought a box just for the hell of it for my channel, just because I'm a race fan. So that might be a $90 donation to a cash grab. But you know what? Hey, I'm going to chase for an Elio Castroneves or Alex Palou autograph. Be the first to pull that on camera. I might be the only one to pull that on camera, but that should be fun coming up in the month of March.
Yeah, Memphis Wax says, I think I would like racing if I were there live. And I was just going to say that actually. If you have a track that's local and you've never been to a race, there's nothing like being at a race. The sound, the smell of the gas burning, the rubber, the fans, it's incredible. And it's not for everybody. There's some people who go and say, I'm never going back. But there's lots of people, like when I go to a race, I haven't been to a race for a while, and they start the field, I get goosebumps at the noise and that smell is, you can't replace that smell when it's just like, wow.
They need to have a candle that's scented racing, NASCAR, IndyCar, F1. It's
dude.
just, whether it's the mixture of the fuel and the rubber, and it's just, and I tell you what, going along the lines of racing, I definitely want to go to the F1 race, at least maybe not to buy a ticket because I know it's dang expensive. I just talked about a kid going into college, but I really want to try and get to that Vegas race and just watch the race from the strip for free, walking up and down the strip. I want to be there so bad. That looked like such a good time. I've dreamt about that. I'm like, I got to get to that Vegas race.
Even me, I'm a NASCAR guy, but I watched that last year going, I've
it
never
was
been
so cool.
Dude, I've never been to Vegas, so Vegas looks sick. Plus the race looked like just the lighting.
The racing was incredible.
It was incredible.
It was so good for a street circuit. That track was set up perfect. And I love what they did with that track. I know it wasn't a lot of the locals weren't fans of it, but I love that track. I think it races great. It's a great, fun experience for the fans, and you don't have to buy a ticket to experience the energy of the race. And that was awesome.
Yeah. Racing's fun. Somebody said the Daytona 500. It's on my bucket list of sporting events. It just doesn't work with my. First of all, I'm not just going to go down there for a Sunday Daytona 500 and fly back and go to work take a day off. Daytona's about speed weeks. Daytona's not just about the truck race that's on tonight and the Xfinity cars and whatnot. It's all the other stuff that's going on there locally the whole week long, not just at Daytona, but on some of the side tracks too, like the open wheels.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go down there for the whole week. And like Hank said, I want to go see some dirt racing, short track racing, and then go see the big boys race on the big track. But I'm going to wait till I retire to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna save up for that Vegas race, and hopefully I can get a cheaper flight and hotels that are not inside the track. I looked at them. I think I can get them for about $125 maybe.
That's not bad at all.
That's not bad. I mean, I'd pay $1,000 for the two of us to go there for the weekend just to take it in. I think that would be more than worth the money. Just once to go take I've never been to an F1 race in person. And I'm not a gigantic F1 fan, but that Vegas race just looks so cool. I think it's just at night with the light. It's just go watch the highlights. I tell you, that was a very cool race to watch.
Oh man, that's awesome. There's a lot of thanks for everybody who's been in the chat tonight. We've had a good
flow,
It wouldn't be a good show without you guys in here.
I appreciate everybody's comments. If you, I'll do a shameless plug. If you aren't a subscriber to ERB Sports, go check it out on YouTube. Try to make videos every day. Try to make a variety of content. And as you can see from my tagline tonight, I'm a huge De'Aaron Fox and Sacramento Kings fans, and doggone it, he should have been an all-star this year. I cannot believe they snubbed him and his teammate Sabonis. And anyway. Hopefully they have a great second half of the season to make a playoff run. And if you ever want to see my De'Aaron Fox collection, tune into my channel. I'll try and make a video. I've got a ton of cool De'Aaron Fox cards.
Parting shot for me is I want to find a way. I was thinking about this today because I felt kind of bad. You sent me a link yesterday, right, to the Card Giants hangers.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really think anything of it, that people would it would be high demand. I'm like, Series 1, it's kicking off the year, and I didn't realize multiple people would want to get it, to be quite honest with you, even though they're hangers. But how, to come up with a place, and I'm not on Discord, how to, you and me and Peds and Stu, we send each other links on the Facebook group. I have a message that I'm with Tyler and Eddie in another group. I get texts from a couple buddies, and there's just it's like wildfire, right? And then you miss somebody. I should have forwarded those hanger links to everybody. I know there's Twitter accounts that have it's stocks, but I was wondering how we could, as a group, you, me, Peds, KC Card Connection, Lucky Peter, and sorry if I missed you, Bama Slam out there. I mean, there's many people. Don't be offended if I missed your name in the comments. I just rambling off some stuff at the top of my head.
Yeah.
How we can come up with one place where, hey, we see a link to Card Giants, boom, it's live. Check it out. Eddie sent me a link to Walmart the other night. They had 2021 Prism football hanger boxes for retail price. And I sent it to you guys. I would love to see a way to get it to everybody, because we always have people asking in the chat, hey, when did this go live? Where can I find this stuff? it is even hard for me to stay on top of this stuff, getting messages from everybody, you know?
Yeah. There's a free Discord that I'm in that we send around. I mean, I guess I can probably send that to you, but we try to send links regularly, and somebody, usually a moderator in there, posts them. I don't know exactly how to set up a Discord myself, but I guess that would be a way to do it. Messenger would be another way to do it, but we just have to have everybody's contact information, sort of like a group text in a way, and say, hey, check this out. I didn't see Jabs open hangers, but maybe his new girlfriend will do it. I don't know. I had to slip it in there. Fair enough.
The flavor of the month.
On that one. Anyway, one of the things I forgot to bring up, and shame on me for not bringing it up earlier, but I reached out to another person that I want to make sure we bring on as a guest, who has a smaller YouTube channel, similar interests to ours, and I'd like to get him on next week. K Cards, I think he's out of Minneapolis. J&Y Cards, we should also get J&Y Cards on. I know he's a big fan of your channel and my channel, and he's struggling to get to 1,000 subscribers just like I am. But we should have those Minneapolis guys on a upcoming live stream at some point, and we'll try to work that in maybe next week or the week after. We'll see what happens with people's schedules, but stay tuned for that. We will try to do more of that. We do get guests on periodically, but never too many guests to get on. It's just trying to line up the times and make sure we have a way to communicate with each other ahead of time, so we know when to meet, how to meet, et cetera, et cetera. So maybe we'll get Striker on again at some point. Maybe we should get Jabs on at some point. I think you reached out to him, but he never reached out back. No, he's too big time.
Too big time. Yeah. You know who else is too big time? I messaged Dylan Cease multiple times on various.
What? You're trying to? I tell you what.
I tried to get him on here to talk about cards, baseball, disc golf. He read the message, but just didn't reply.
I promised I'd reach out to Joey Chestnut to get on as well. I have not honored that commitment. I will be at a contest in a month and a little over a month and a half. I don't think Joey's going to be at that contest, but I'll try and get an eater on here. I think I can line that up.
Dude, that would be awesome, man. I would like to get somebody like, especially with Joey, because I would like to get somebody who's signed baseball cards. You know, like he's been on a card. He's signed cards. And that's why, like Dylan Cease, I would love to ask him not only about baseball, but about the signing, like, you know, what's it like behind the scenes signing the cards? You know, what was the timeline? I wouldn't ask about the money, but, you know, like those are cool things to ask. And then on top of it, the other part of, you know, their hobbies, what they like to do. But, man, there's so much. It's just, I was so busy through December and then kicking this new year, man. And with all good that was going on with the family, I'm finally getting back to a little bit of normal weekly, where I'm 2 weekends that I've been home back to back. And it just feels good. I've gotten a lot of stuff done. Okay, got a new safe in. Dude, these guys, I bought a used safe because it was like a $1,500 safe, brand new. I got it for $700. You know, so I didn't need a perfect shiny safe. It's a nice safe. But these guys that moved it in, man, talk about true professionals. There's no way me and 3 buddies were going to get that in here. They did a great job, man. But again, I tell everybody, if you have a decent collection, a few $1,000s worth of cards, and you have some other valuables, whether it's silver, gold, or whatever, collectibles, you might want to consider getting a safe.
I got one, yeah. I
didn't have one.
Good cards up.
I didn't have one for a long time, and then when that pandemic hit, I'm like, I need to get a safe, like a good one, a good 90-minute fireproof safe. You know.
Yep. Yeah. I definitely, try to keep it clean and everything, but it's in my home office down here in the basement. So I don't think I ever want to take that thing out of the house, though.
No, if I move,
that thing was so freaking heavy. Like you said, it took 3 of us to get it down here, and I was like, I don't want to move that thing again.
Dude, if I move, I'm definitely not. I'll just buy a new one somewhere else.
I'll just leave it. Yeah, I'm not taking that thing out of the basement. I felt like I was gonna break the stairs. But anyway, I don't have any more topics. I don't know if you want to call it a show, but I think I appreciate everybody watching. Thank you for all the comments.
Yep.
Thank you for all the donos for Brett's channel, and stay tuned for another episode next week. We're going to be back to a regular schedule, like we said. Try and make it weekly again. Friday seems to work. I'm free next Friday, I believe, so we can make that one as well. You've heard it here first. Brett, any parting shots?
No, just have an awesome weekend, guys. Enjoy opening Series 1 if you are. If not, keep the grind going, and until next time, peace.
Take care, everybody. Enjoy the All-Star game if you're watching.